Hi there, Michelle here, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing some more filet crochet. Months ago, I was starting to do filet crochet. I brought it to my crochet club and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm working on filet crochet. And they're just like, filet crochet, is that how you pronounce it? So we got in this whole discussion about how do you pronounce it? You actually do pronounce it filet crochet. This is at Central Pearl, my favorite yarn store. Stephanie was like, will you fillet a fish? And I'm like, filet crochet fish vest. I have decided that I want to make a filet crochet fishing vest. It's going to be a vest very similar to the vest that I did like a month ago. Remember this one here, the duck vest? That's where I kind of got the idea. And remember, I think in that video I was saying this vest is a template for another future project. Welcome to the future project. So because I finally got that one the way that I like, the way that I fit, I still have the graph, the chart that I made for it. So all I gotta do is just take the ducks off, put some fish on, and we're good to go. A week or two ago, I did a video of me doing a big yarn haul. I went to Mary Maxim, I went to Len's Mills, I went to Walmart, all that jazz, looking for yarn. Now, I did find some yarn. This yarn. This is the Lion brand Kobo cotton yarn, which is 50%, no, what is it? It's 51% cotton and 49% rayon from bamboo. I also did a cotton review video where I went over different types of cotton and what my favorite cotton is. And what I have discovered is my favorite type of cotton yarn is when it is like 50% cotton and 50% something else, because it's not as dense, it's not as heavy, and it crochets a lot nicer. Because sometimes cotton, sugar and cream, doesn't crochet the nicest. So anyways, I bought these. I bought 4 of them because I thought these are the colors that I wanted, because I wanted like a fishing vest green. And so I originally found this, and then a week or two later I went into Walmart and I found this one, and it is ever so slightly a different shade of green. Here's the 2 different types of green. Okay, this was the first one that I bought, and then this was the second. Now this one was good because I didn't see this one at the time, so this one I'm just like, yeah, that's probably as close as the green that I'm gonna get to what I want it to be. And then I saw this one, I'm like, well, this one is more of a fishing vest. And I literally spent like 5-10 minutes in the aisle of Walmart being like, should I buy this? Should I just use this?
Ketchup? I'm in way over my head.
And in the end, I ended up picking 4 of these up. I think I'm only gonna need 3, but I really love this Kobo yarn, so I think I might just keep it and do a project next year with this type of color. But for anybody who's wondering about this one here, the color is called Bayberry. The new color I got is this one. It is called Olive, and to me, this one just screams fisherman's vest, classic fisherman's vest, and that's why I picked this one up, because I knew this is the one that I want to use. Now I know I could have just saved money, I could have just went with my first yarn of choice, but the whole time I'd be like, hey, this is a fishing vest. You're never gonna probably make another one of these again because you're gonna move on and do other things. But why make it in a color that I'm not 100% happy with when I could make it in the color that I really want it to be? Because I'm not gonna make a second version. And if you've been following me for a while, I usually do one and done. Like I make one thing and then I never make it again. Unless it's like a top-down raglan sweater, then yes, I've made a few of those in different colors, okay? But that doesn't count. When it comes to like creative ideas and patterns, I usually just do it once and I move on. So I'm like, you know what? We're gonna make it in a color that I wanna make it in. And that's this one right here. I did buy 4 of these. I think I'm only gonna need 3. The only reason I just don't know is because in the original vest that I made 2. So the first version was not good and I had to take the whole thing apart. But taking the whole thing apart, I had to unwind all the yarn, and then I would have like little balls of yarn like all over the place. So I really couldn't tell how many of these it was. And I know I could weigh it. I just didn't have a scale at the time. I do have a scale now. Okay, I know I needed 3 for sure, but I couldn't figure out if I needed a 4th one. And also the design changed. So, you know, maybe I do need more than the other one. And I'm gonna keep track this time of how many I need. That's really all I can say. It's just another filet crochet project. I really love doing these. Eventually, I would like to do them in more of a delicate weight, but if you watched my last video, I'm done using fine weight yarn for a while. I don't wanna look at it. I don't wanna use it until the summer, okay? I just made that polo top, and although it is cute and it fits nice and it drapes nice, it's everything that I want in a top, I just can't put myself through using really thin yarn for a bit, okay? I want to use 4 worsted weight yarn, but even that I can't really use right now because I got to use this one first. But this one is a DK weight yarn, and it is a light 3, and I will be using a 4mm crochet hook with it. So I think that pretty much sums up what this project is going to be about. I just have to make it, and hopefully it turns out how I envision it. If you are new to my channel and you like crocheting and yarn and thrifting and the 80s and like the retro vibe, and making random crochet projects because I feel like it, why not hit the subscribe button? Last night, I got this far, which is almost, I want to say like halfway done the big panel in the back. When I do these types of vests, I do the whole back and fronts. So like front, back, other front. And then eventually I get to the point where I just do like the back part and then the front part here and then the front part here. So my goal today is to at least get to the part where I'm done doing all of it at once, if that makes sense. I don't know if you really can see anything. I feel like if I did use a thinner yarn, then these little holes would be smaller and the image would probably be a lot more clearer. But again, like I said, I do not want to do any more fine weight projects. I think you can maybe see like the detail. This is a fish. This is the bottom half of a fish. I have some kelp there. I have the lower body of a fish here. I have the exact same thing on this side. I have some kelp. And then I have the bottom of the fish there. I really hope that these are going to be able to be seen. Hoping to at least get this whole big part done today. And then the next 2 days I can like finish this up. And then I can work on part 2 of this video, which is making those cute little wire fishes with the beads that everybody's been talking about. Got about this far right now. And I have this much yarn left from my first one. I think I'm going to cut this now just because I don't think it's going to be enough for me to go back and do one more row. I don't like having to cut yarn in the middle. Did that for the last one I did, and every so often where I had to reattach it, like where I put a knot, it shows through. Even though I keep putting it back so it's like facing the inside of the vest, it keeps poking out and going through the outside of the vest. So I'd rather just cut it on the end and start a new one, and then that way I can hide that when I do like the little border. So now I'm going to get I don't know, this one, I'm gonna get another one. I'm gonna start the second one of these. So the only problem I have with like doing this type of crochet is that sometimes I forget where I am. I was over here, I'm like, well, what's this? Like, I don't see that on my chart. That's because I thought this was over here, but this was the end of the fishtail. I didn't have to do that, which means, yes, I have to take that apart. There we go. So what I did here, I actually needed to do it here. I mean, it all looks kind of the same. I'm also thinking maybe I should have went with the other green. I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, this olive green is really pretty for the fall, so I guess I got that going for me. But I did finish the one fish though, like the middle fish at the bottom. I did finish that. I still have to do the top fish and then the side fishes. I think they're almost done. I'm almost at the head part, and like I'm literally like right here. I'm so close to the arm opening, which is exciting. That's exactly where I wanted to get to today. Little update on the vest. I'm trying to figure out how to hold it. I don't even know which way is which yet. Oh my goodness, we see a fish. How does that fish look? Does it look like a fish? And you can totally see the fish. Okay, so we got the fish. We have the kelp. Okay, the kelp looks okay. I mean, I didn't really care what this looked like. I just wanted something so it wasn't so boring. Also, I find the more details you put in filet crochet, it's a little bit easier to figure out where you are and where to track it. Whereas if you're just doing a bunch of like these little open spaces, I sometimes get a little bit lost. And I'm like, okay, well, I have to count. Whereas when you have like a little bit of a design where like, well, I only have to go up to like this thing and then I gotta do this, you know what I mean? And then I have this over here, which is almost, let me see. Okay, yeah. Almost a whole fish. And it's so much easier if good thing I wore this sweater. It's kind of interesting because this fish looks a lot fatter, whereas this one just looks really long, but it's the same pattern. It's just this fish is going up and then this one's going sideways. And then of course we have this fish. Oh, look, it's like, I'm the fish's head. I don't know. Then we have this fish, and then we do have the kelp. Right up here, it's just easier for me to put it on my sweater so you can see it. This part here is underneath the arm, so it's like right here. So I got the whole big piece done last night. I don't know how I did it. It's looking pretty good. It's only one square wider, like one of these little squares wider than the other one, and it was just so then that way the fish that's gonna go up top, so there's this fish down here, the fish that's gonna go here, it needed like one more space over. So this is basically the exact same size as my last project, except I have one one more square. So that's the only difference between this and that. You know, I'm really happy with how this is turning out, and I'm really hoping to get the 2 front panels done today. The back panel, if I have to do it tomorrow, I have to do it tomorrow. Also, what I ended up doing on the back panel for the fish that's gonna go up here, so I have like a fish here, the other fish is gonna go in the opposite direction. I actually put it lower than I did the dragonfly in the last one. The last one that I did for the dragonfly, I feel like it's a little bit too up here, so when I wear it, it doesn't really get lost, but I wish the dragonfly was a little bit lower down. So I took my knowledge of what happened here, I apply that to the fish vest. The top fish is gonna be a little bit lower. I know I didn't go in too much detail or like pattern wise, like I didn't put, I put effort into it, but I just didn't go extreme like I did that vest, the duck vest. You know, sometimes you just have an idea and it's a really quick idea and you just need to get it done. And that's what this is. But also, I do kind of have like another little bonus idea for this video, which I am very excited to do. I'm actually more excited to do this than the vest itself. I went to Michael's yesterday to get these and this. I've seen lately what is trending is making fish out of beads. I really don't know the technical term, if that is it, but they'll use these type of beads, I think. I don't know, these beads just look cool, so I bought them. They'll use these beads, then they'll use some wire. I got some gold wire. I hope this is the right size. It should be fine. We'll test it, you know? And they make little fishes. My idea is I want to make little fishes. I want to make at least 3 little fishes. We'll see how they go. So what I was thinking, if I'm making a fishing vest, I should probably have some lures. And I don't trust myself with pointy things. Actual lures are out of the question. But if I make some fish stitch markers and I put them on the vest, you see where I'm going with that? This is also going to be part of the video, is I will be making some of these and I'll be showing you how I'm going to be doing them. Not so much a tutorial. All right, so these are the beads that I ended up getting. I got one because it's like these pink colors. I thought they were really cute. And then I bought the green one because of like fish. And then I got this brown one because it's fall retro colors. I got this gold wire. It's from like the beading section of Michael's. I really don't know which one I needed. I kind of wanted one that was maybe a little bit more coppery, but they didn't have one like this that was more coppery, and the only one that they did was like really expensive, and it's just like, I don't want to spend a ton of money on beads. If I don't like it, I don't like it, but it's a fun little arts and craft project, so you know, it's fine. I was literally about to film and then Whispers was like, hello. I did get the one front panel done and I did change up my design, but he's sitting on it. Instead of doing the bubbles, I decided to do 2 little mini fishes. I don't know, I think it would look cute. Might just look like blobs, and the bubbles look like blobs, so you know, 2 little fishes there. And now I'm gonna work on the other panel tonight, and I think that's maybe where I leave it. Okay, so it is getting dark out, as you can see. It is currently 8:25, and I have gotten both front panels done, and I'm gonna work on the back panel for a half an hour, and then I'm gonna call it. But I'm really close to being done this project. I mean, I knew this project wasn't gonna take me too long. That's why I kind of decided to do it this week, because next week's project is gonna take some more time. So I really want this done tomorrow. Like tomorrow, I'm gonna have it done. But yeah, I'm just gonna work on the back panel a little bit more today, and yeah. At Crochet Club today, I was able to get the second fish done. I know you really can't see it. Trust me, it's there. And now I have to do 4 or 5 more of these plain rows. I think it's a really good vest, and it's actually like a real nice kind of like calming crochet piece after my last one. I'm gonna get the vest done today. After I'm done the rows of this, I will be attaching it on the shoulders and doing the little ribbing and the little tie, and then this vest is done. And then I can work on those little fishes, which honestly, I'm so excited to work on those little fishes. So, yay. What I like to do for the last row, I don't want to do double crochets. I like to do a single crochet border on the top. That way when I sew the back part to the front part, I can do the mattress stitch and it will lay really nice and really flat, and it will look a lot better. So that's why I like to do just a single crochet on the last row. sewed them together and I completely forgot to film that. They are now sewn together, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a single crochet border along the edge. I'm just going to copy what I did for the last one. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do now. For the little ties in the front, I like to chain 50 and then do a slip stitch back down. In the end, I actually only needed 3 of these. I think the third one is still pretty full. I just don't know where I put it. But yeah, so to do the vest, I only needed 3, which means I have an extra 4th, and you know, I'll use it eventually because I do really like this yarn. Okay, on to part 2 of this video, which is me making little fish. These are my supplies. I did make one the other day just to kind of like test the waters. Yeah, I didn't mean for that pun, but it happened. And it's actually pretty easy to do. I actually bought this one today because my mom said she wanted me to make her one. So I ended up buying this one for her. And then I ended up buying these beads here. They are a different brand, but they are 6/0, so they're the same size as this. Now, when I made this fish originally, I used this wire here, and that's this packaging is a 24 gauge wire. But what I did notice is when I was trying to do like the back little fin parts here, because you have to go through them like a few times, the wire was a little too thick. So I ended up picking this one out today. It's very similar. It is a 26 gauge, so it is a little bit finer, and I think that it's going to be a little bit easier to, I was going to say crochet with, a little bit easier to work with. I should also say I have these as well in gold and silver. These I got off of Amazon. They are for earrings, but I also really like using these to make stitch markers with. So I can make earrings, I can make stitch markers. They're the same thing. I'm going to use the green ones now. So I'm just going to pour them into here. Let's just have my wooden beads in. Don't put too many. If you're going to make a fish, you're going to want to have 5 colors. So we're going to need a color for the belly, for the middle part, for the top part, for the little mouth, and for the tail. What I really like about these beads is that they come with, I don't know, like at least 6 or 7 different colors of beads. So instead of spending money on individual packs such as this, like I think this one here cost me $6. Instead of buying a bunch of these, if you get this, it has all the colors, and then you can like mix and match them too. A few of the tutorials that I did see on TikTok, that's where I was watching them, some people were doing 2 layers of the fish. I just want to do 1 layer. I don't want them to be too bulky. I like the 1 layer. All right, so wire. Oof, it's, oh, I've just made that a horrible mess. And because I want stitch marker, I have to put this first. All right, we're gonna put that at the bottom. For the mouth, I want to do the light color green. I will say that this thinner wire is kind of like all over the place, whereas the other wire kind of stayed in its spot. So you got the 2 beads, then you take the other half of the wire and you put it through those 2 like this, and then you pull. Okay, there. I need to do 2 top color and 1 bottom color. So the top color I decided to do was this dark green color. And then we're going to use one of these olive beads. And the same thing. You just go through all the beads and then you pull again. This is where I need to put the eye in. 2 top. The eye. You don't have to do the eye, but I think that the eye just looks kind of neat. And I feel like it's missing it on the first one I did. Fourth layer, 2 top colors. So that's going to be dark green. I've decided to use this nice little pearl color in the center. And then we're going to do 2 bottom colors to feed the other through. And then we're just going to pull. Now I'm going to do 3 of the top color and then a nice middle one and then 2. And then feed it through. This is basically the whole thing. It's just following a pattern, putting some beads on, getting the other strand of wire, putting it through those beads, pulling that. Okay, and then we're just gonna pull that down. The 6th row is exactly the same as the 5th row. The 7th layer, we're actually going to be doing 3 of the top color, then 1 middle color, and then it looks like just 1 bottom color. 8th layer, it's going to be 2 of the top color, 1 middle color, do 1 bottom color. The 9th layer, 1 of each color. 10th layer, middle color and the bottom color. We're going to be working on the tail. I want to actually do this darker brown for the tail. Okay, so I need to put 3 on the tail because this will be the 11th row. And what we're doing right now is these 3 beads right there. Okay, we're going to put those through and now we're going to feed them down. So I need 4 of the tail beads. This is the tricky part, is you want to put this now through these 3 beads. You don't want to put it through this 4th one on top. And then you're just going to pull all the way down. It might be easier to push it all the way down to where you need it to be. Yeah, this is the tricky part. I don't like doing this, the tail. And then what you want to do is you want to take this wire and you want to feed it through those 2 beads. Also, I always like using a little bit extra wire, so just in case like the end gets a little bent, you can just cut it. Those 2. And now we're going to do the same on the other side. That's as good as that's really going to get, honestly. And then I'm going to put this through those 2 beads, so the opposite beads. I'm just going to weave these wires through kind of the back of the fish just to make sure everything kind of like stays aligned before I cut the wire. That's that, and then I'm going to cut that wire. All right, and same thing for this one. I'm gonna weave it in a few times. Yeah, see, this is why the thinner wire works better, because you can weave it back and forth, whereas the thicker wire, really hard to do that. And we got 1 fish somewhat done. It's not perfect, okay? This isn't pretty. I mean, it's pretty. It's cute. It's pretty cute. I wouldn't sell it looking like this if I were to ever sell them. There is 1 beaded fish. It took me a while. I'm a little exhausted. I think it took me roughly 20-ish minutes. Little over 20 minutes, 30 minutes to make one of these, but I want to make more. So I think I'm going to make a few more of these.
1 hour later.
These are all of the fishes that I'm gonna do. I'm tired of making fishes. I think they turned out pretty cute. And I have all these beads, so maybe I'll try out like different patterns. Like I've seen people do flowers and other types of fish. So that's something that I would like to look into. I just, gotta take a break from it for a little bit. I think they turned out pretty good. The vest is done. This vest actually took me 12 hours to make. The original vest, the duck one, took me 14 hours to make, so I shaved off 2 hours. Probably my personal best. This is probably the fastest I've ever crocheted a wearable, ever. I got it done in like 4 days. Probably could have got it done in 3 days, but I had to go to work and like all that jazz, and then like that added up. So as you can see, I did pair it with this white mock neck shirt. I feel like the fish really will pop. I think the darker the yarn color, the lighter top I have to wear, and then vice versa. The lighter the yarn is, the darker the top I have to wear. These little fishes look so cute. I was really worried about these fishes, but I think they turned out so cute. I think they actually turned out better than the bubbles would have. So here's the front. You got the fish, and then you got the other fish, and then underneath you have the kelp. Okay, the kelp does look like kelp. I wasn't too sure how the kelp was gonna look. And then here's the back. I can't see it right now. Okay, can you see the bottom fish too? All right, you can see that fish, and then there's the bottom fish. So as you can see, like I said, I did move the fish down more than I would have. Remember what happened with the dragonfly? The dragonfly was just so close to the top. I wish the dragonfly was a little bit more down. So I'm really glad that I did move the fish down. I think it works really, really well right there. I like how I did the 2 fish, one going one way, one going the other way. I know it's a very basic pattern. I mean, like, there's only so many fish patterns that would fit on this. A lot of the fish patterns, the grass, were very intricate. They wouldn't have fit on this. So I wanted to pick like a very simple fish, but also one that has a little bit of detail. And I really like the checkerboard effect. I feel like it gives it like those scales. And then we have the front again. Look how cute these fish look. Also, I love how the fish look completely different. The fish on the side and the fish on the back are the exact same pattern, but one is sideways and one is up and down. It changes the look of the fish. Like this fish looks a lot more shorter and a lot more chunkier, and this fish looks longer and skinnier. Color-wise, do I think I picked the right color? Absolutely. I was kind of doubting myself. I'm like, well, maybe I should have just went with the other color. It was close enough. But then again, in my head, I'm just like, you're not gonna make another filet crochet fish vest, okay? Like, I don't see myself making two of them. I only need one, right? Let's make it with the color that I absolutely want for this vest. And that is this one. I think it's so cute. I should probably take my earrings off because, yes, I made this cute vest, but I also made some really cute fish stitch markers. I also did find another idea for the fish for like the back the tail, and I literally saw that last night after I had already finished these, so there was no way I was like gonna take these apart and redo them. Look at that. It's like shaking like a little fish. So cute. All right, let's pop these ones on. I really don't know where to put them. I don't know, I just thought that if I'm making a vest with fish on them, I probably should put some lures. It also kind of reminds me of like a gill net. I watched too much of that show Alone that I know what a gill net is, which I think is so funny. Okay, we'll put this one up here too. I might move this one up too. The cute little fishes. I know. And then I did make these two into earrings because I thought it would be such a cute idea to wear them as earrings. I can literally wear any of these as earrings, to be honest. Maybe this one has to go on the other side just because of the way it's like bending, maybe. I've never done wire beads before. Like, this is my first time doing anything like this. So I think it's quite interesting how they turned out. I also really like the idea that I did put the eyes. Part of me wasn't too sure. I'm like, oh, should I put the eyes? Yes. The eyes definitely make it look more like a fish. Because the one that doesn't have eyes, this pink one up here, I wish it had an eye. There we go. I don't really think you could see them. I got one here, one here, one here, and like one down there. They're a lot smaller than I thought they'd be. I thought they'd be a little bit bigger. They're so cute though. Oh, the earrings though. Like, come on. These earrings are just so adorable. I don't know, can you see the little guys everywhere? This vest was probably the best timed project ever because of how popular these little beaded fish are, and that gave me the opportunity to do a little fish, like do the beaded fish on the filet fish vest, right? It is just so cute. And normally I probably would tuck my shirt in like this, but I really want to see like the bottom of the fish for this video, so that's why it's untucked. I really loved working with this yarn. I really like crocheting with it. It is very, very soft, very, very lightweight. Again, I love having a cotton yarn that is like half cotton, half something else. I think this vest, I give it like a 9 out of 10. Only deducting 1 mark just because I wish I was a little bit more creative with it. Wish I kind of put a little bit more, I wouldn't say effort, but maybe a little bit more design into it. But because the fish design itself, like if these fishes were like smaller, I probably would have done more, but because how big these fish were, I didn't want to overcrowd it, because again, for my last one, I realized that the duck that I had done, most of the duck was like on the side here and I never even got to see it. So that is why I just opted just to put kelp on the side to like fill the space in, because it's not really going to be seen really that much, and I really wanted the fish. The surprise of it is these little tiny fish actually turned out really good. I didn't think they were going to show up as much as they did, and honestly I thought that they were going to show up, but I didn't think they were going to look like fish. So the fact that they actually look like fish, I love it. In the comments below, let me know if y'all have tried filet crochet before, maybe what type of yarn you use. So far, I've only used cotton yarn. I haven't done anything acrylic, so if you've used acrylic, let me know how that's worked out. I just like how kind of soft and flowy that this yarn is, but let me know your yarn recommendations for filet crochet. Yeah, so I think that does it for this video, so y'all have a good day now.